Hello summoners and welcome to another episode of FEHology, the study of Fire Emblem Heroes. My name is Joel and I'm here to remind you once again that 3-year-olds never lie.
Safety fence infected!
That's right, the safety fence is here and things will never be the same. Gravity, catapults, Kanto, and duo skills all got better. Turn 1 defenses, odd recovery, return traps got worse. Vantage, hit and run, and gale force are here. I mean, you can use them again, although arguably you could always use gale force. But, you guessed it, savior skills also got better because they're IS's favorite thing. We've been hearing about how this building will completely change Aether raids, but let's talk about what it actually does. Now, just in case you've wandered into this video and have no idea what I'm talking about, the safety fence shuts down the defense for 1 turn if you're in the first 2 rows, within 6 columns centered around the fence, or just out of range of the defense. They end their turn immediately. I've got a defense replay going that demonstrates all of this brilliantly. For real, this is a work of art that just destroyed me the other week. But what this really means is you have an extra turn to set up. In practice, if it's utilized correctly, that means you can attack the defense on your terms. The best turn 1 forces are good because they don't give you time to set up. You can swap your units and that's about it. So there are fewer tricks the defense can play. Now, if you're a diehard plonker, this means you can wait out odd recovery and your debuffs and isolation actually mean something. But it's not a huge change to you because really you're just still waiting for the defense to come to you. I think the biggest impact will be in the makeup of the defenses themselves though. By allowing these other strategies, defenses can't be one-dimensional and sell out with 7 glass cannons. We've already seen an increase in the number of far save armors on defense, and I expect to see more of that in the coming weeks. But we need to talk about the real winners of the fence. Hey, you! Yes, the one that's already writing a comment about how wrong I am. Quit that. There will be plenty of time at the end. But seriously though, summoners, this opens up a whole new world for player phase mythics. You've already seen PM1 demonstrate how Freya is the perfect Wings of Mercy beacon because of her matchup with Note. Remember? Gale Force positioning just got a ton easier. Reagan is... I mean, she was amazing before this. She's even more amazing now. You can actually pull units in and out of the danger zone with Kanto, and yeah, she's fantastic. But let's talk about how this affects the worst mythic. Hello, Ullr. The reason every single one of us bagged on Ullr was the fact that she only really does one thing well: deal damage. What struck me was how much damage. The Ullr you see here will take out all but the worst vectors. I'm talking about plus defense, double defense mythics, plus 10s. She can't do that unless she's at plus 10, but what you're seeing here, nah. That's insane though. I started thinking about all the units that could come behind her and utilize the fact that the bulkiest unit was gone. But that begs another question. Why not just keep using Ullr? This build gets her into Wings of Mercy range in 3 hits or 1 trap, and most of the hyper-aggressive teams that you're wanting to use her for don't want their traps anywhere near their units. I'll show you some examples both ways. That doesn't answer the question though of what to do when she's done, and you're gonna love this. So, Wings of Mercy happens, and you send in, of course, a savior unit. It's exactly what we needed, right? More uses for the savior skill. The idea is simple though. Remove every unit you can and let Winter Cecilia handle the rest. Farsave provides a huge range to hide behind when you consider you're already on the front lines. You've halved the map. I've done tons of simulations. This unit right here can tank a plus 10 Legendary Lilina, a plus 10 Duo Leaf, and a Dancer Eldigan all in the same turn. That is exactly the team that I'm looking to defeat. You want to know the real kicker though? Wind Sweep, which is everywhere to counter savior skills, actually helps you out here because you get to keep that one unit alive. I absolutely love seeing Selena. That makes my day. And in case you can't tell, I'm pretty proud of this unit. So we want to talk about one more, and that's Dagger. This strategy isn't really highlighting Dagger, but understand that she does offer some amazing flexibility in terms of movement. This isn't an optimal kit, but she can run in and take down who she needs to take down in times, and I mean, barring that, she is such a good drawback unit to pull people back into Winter Cecilia's safety zone. Oh, and I forgot to mention, did you guys realize this? Have you thought about the fact that even Tempest happens on the correct turn now? Like, even her base kit got better. But we need to start looking at how this works in practice. And I wanted to start off with something that actually most people have a counter for, but is still a very prevalent defense, and that's Cav Line. Alright, I'm just gonna jump right in here, but I need to have just a few caveats. The biggest one being, Ullr is on her bonus season. At the time of this recording, that's all I had available, but I've done the simulations and she'd still win all of these matchups regardless. Remember, most of her damage comes from proccing that special. The other thing is, I've done these maps before. In the interest of time, I spared you the 15 minutes apiece that winning the match took, but know that I did beat them the first time out. So, Cav Line. Now, these are getting better and better at breaking down savior armors, but in order to do that, they utilize a lot of counter-disrupt weapons. And most of those counter-disruptors are easily handled by Winter Cecilia. It makes for an excellent utilization of this team. Unless they're running Promises Reinhardt, just stay far, far away from that thing. But anyway, let's do this sample run here. We're gonna go fight. Now, anytime they have traps up front, I am all about this. So let's go ahead and play with that. Remember, we get the first turn free. We're gonna break there, and we're gonna smite up. Normally the one front and center is the one that and that isn't it. Okay.
Let's try that.
So we do get a chance to try this one. We have both sides covered. We wanna leave Ullr up there so that she makes sure to get hit.
If you say so.
And then we're gonna pull everybody back. All right, here's where the fun starts. We've got our free turn. We're then going to smite Ullr up.
Very well.
Take out Dual Leaf. Now, remember, the big goal here is to take out every melee threat. There's only one on this team, so the only thing that has to happen is that Note has to get off the board. That is the most important thing. So, next up, we're gonna dance.
What is it?
And Note's gone.
Ready.
Probably next priority would be the dancer, but we're gonna take a little bit of a detour, take Dagger up, and pop Lyn. That gets our Gale Force off, and then we can take care of Bramamond. Come across this way and hit Peony. The big concern there is that someone gets off their special. Like, as is, neither of these units are going to proc either Moonbow or Miracle. Well, I guess obviously Miracle doesn't mean much there, huh? But you're seeing here, 0 damage. And I mean, that Nana is no slouch. Like, she's hitting with a lot of attack there. Anyway, this, at this point, is just cleanup. I mean, you pop Nana,
Got him.
grab a pot there,
Very well.
grab the other pot,
Good morning.
get out of Cecilia's way because she's amazing, and Selena goes down. We didn't even care that we picked the wrong trap, and Winter Cecilia ended up taking damage. That's pretty incredible. So we need to move on now to Abandoned Castle, because that's a little harder. You guys have all seen this configuration. I'll be honest, I cringe every time it pops up. But this is where this kind of strategy really shines. You take out the bulky units with Ullr, and you tank the rest. So let's see how this works. I guess before we dive in, we can look a little bit at the builds here. We've got a +10 Winter Cecilia, a +10 Linja, a +0 Peony, a +10 Nana, a +0 Note, a +0 Leaf, and a +0 Hell. So immediately looking at this, there are a lot of targets to take out, and I'm going to need to use a duo skill to really get to whittle this down. And remember, that's one of the things we talked about at the beginning of this. You can use duo skills now again if you use these hyper-offensive strategies that take out the key units. So while I prefer to show strategies that don't use it, I think this one in particular is nice to see. So, I mean, same thing. We're guessing on the traps, but there's 2 of them right there. It's literally, if that wasn't it, we danced and we just got the other one. Next up, we're moving Ullr up, and remember, fence is here. So the weird rally trap that's set up with both Cecilia and Lynn, where all of this area would be in danger, that doesn't exist right now. We end turn. So next up, we have a nice smite to start the carnage. Now, obviously, we need to take out Cecilia first. But next, we're just gonna go line item by line item and take these units out.
On the right foot.
Linja's the next major threat. Now, the next major threat is actually Note, but I'm gonna push here and try to take out all of the duo heroes. And the thing is, with Caltrop Dagger, Cecilia has no problem taking out Duo Leaf, which, summoners, he's bulky. Like, that is not a small deal. So now our duo heroes are off the board. We can go ahead and trigger this duo skill and use the special to take out Note. All right, next up, we're just going to get Dagger in range here, and Cecilia can easily tank both of these units, no problem. And she doesn't have to, and I gotta tell you, when I first played this, I was completely surprised that Nana did a block job for me. I appreciated it greatly. We're gonna get chip damage on Hell. I actually don't think it's necessary, but when I was first doing this strategy against Hell, it was her bonus season. So it was a pain, to say the least. All right, Hell's off the board. And I mean, the next thing we're worried about is just pots.
Yes.
We've already seen that Cecilia can take on Nana just fine. Should get a double 0 here. Or a single 0. Interesting. We had a lot of buffs going on, apparently. Let's finish her off.
That's a difficult
Cecilia ends at almost full health. But let's move to this last one, which really got me excited. I'm going to be blatantly honest with you. This setup right here is the entire reason I started looking at player phase strategies. Summoners, this defense drives me nuts. It seems like no matter how well I play, I always seem to leave one unit uncovered, and they're hit with some sort of weird exact lethal. You guys know what I'm talking about. So let's dive in, and one of the mean things that has been done here is that Sigurd has been pushed to the very back because this person doesn't like people. So yeah, we've got Leaf, who is just excellent, you know, Note, who is a staple, Duopini again, Bramamond, +10 Nana because, you know, she's amazing. And then we've got our +10 Cecilia again. All right, this is gonna require one trick, but the biggest thing for the first turn is to get the crud out of the way. I can't say this enough. That seems like breaking one block doesn't make a whole lot of difference and is not worth a fence, but that is huge, being able to pick your lanes as opposed to having to waste a turn choosing the optimal one. So let's end turn here. The nice fence. animation. We're gonna go ahead and smite Ullr up, and obviously Cecilia's first up. From here, we're going to swing around and hit Note. Now, this is another time where I'm not going to be able to take out all the duo units, so the duo skill isn't there for me. The next unit that has to be taken off the board is Legendary Sigurd. Has to. Done. Alright, here's the one tricky part, is I had to place Winter Cecilia so that she could hop in and protect everyone there. From there, we end turn. Alright, we've seen this before. 0-0. Dance. 0. It's so much of it. I love it. 13, I mean, that's not a small amount, but the biggest thing is he can't proc his special that way. Same thing with Bramamond. So from here, I mean, first unit that has to be off the board is Leaf.
Let's try that.
But again, we've seen how well Caltrop Dagger handles that.
It will be done.
Bramamond goes, and I tried this a couple different ways. I finally did figure out that Peony kills Peony, which surprised me a ton. It's an exact lethal, but honestly, we could have just left her alive and continued on the path of just tanking. So yeah, understand that.
Got him.
Let's send you all the way over here to go get pots in a second. We'll end turn, and I mean, you guys know the drill by this point. 0, 0. She just absorbs so much damage. We'll get you, and for this last one, we'll let Ullr finish it out.
Very well.
Now, Summoners, I know this is a truncated timeline. The fact is, though, that this is very flexible. It's what I look for in my strategies. I am not the person who's going to spend an hour or two calculating the exact way to pin someone in some sort of crazy Gale Force strategy. Don't get me wrong, I love watching those, but it's not my style. I like to be able to adapt on the fly instead of having to figure things out all at the beginning. That's what this strategy provides. I mean, you've seen several different situations with very different outcomes. Well, actually the same outcome. I guess very different middles. I mean, Winter Cecilia just tanks a lot of units. The problem is, as a pure carry, she's not going to be able to take on an entire team. But for this, she's amazing. In case this isn't clear, there is one more huge advantage to having your carry be a mythic, and that's that you get more support units. I got to take 2 dancers in here, while one of them's Peony, so I mean, it was a dancer and a savior unit to cover Ullr. That's all because one of those is a mythic. I love that sort of flexibility when I'm building a team. Alright, Summoners, let's bring this back around because, believe it or not, this is not a Team CC showcase. The game is constantly evolving, and we need to be evaluating the new realities that are happening. We've called player phase mythics inferior for quite a while, and this is a chance to revisit that. But that goes for a lot of old units. New skills come up all the time, and I mean, heroes like Spring Sharena and Black Knight, just for an example, can become very relevant again. As for the safety fence, I'm going to go against almost every YouTube video you've seen and say it's a fantastic structure. It gives us more toys to play with in the Ether Keep, and I love that. As for completely breaking the game, my anecdotal poll of gamers has showed very little difference in rewards you get each season. The fact is, the safety fence makes difficult and time-intensive strategies easier. Most players don't want to use those, they want to use their tanks. And nothing against tanks. I love plonking. Seriously, it's my favorite. I love building up units for weeks and then just sitting them out there and watching the waves of enemies crash against them. But I also like to be able to solve maps in different ways. In the end, we need to remember the immortal words of Zane. the founder and CEO of the Busted Units Club. Every new feature looks busted until you start using it. Summoners, I hope you enjoyed this episode. These are some of my favorite topics, and I'd love to know in the comments any opinions you have. Tell me what you agree with. Tell me what you disagree with. I really try to get to all of you. One of my favorite things, though, is starting a discussion. And if you like the episode, please leave a comment or subscribe. If you'd like to chat about this more, you can join the research and development server or direct messages on Discord. Our tags are in the show notes. Hope you have a wonderful day and schedule an appointment with your FEHologist real soon. Take care, folks. What do you want to say?
I don't know. Hello, Sunburns. I'm here to tell you.
That safety fence is busted!
Not fake safety fence.
What is it?